On March 20, 1988, 200 people set out from Denmark on Western Australia's south coast to walk through the forests of the state's southwest on a 650-kilometre trek north to Perth. It was the start of the Great Walk. The Great Walk was primarily a celebration of the environment and was launched with an Aboriginal dance ceremony to protect the walkers and attune them to the country through which they would travel. Over the next 26 days, 1,000 people from all avenues of life would take part to express their love and concerns for the environment. These expressions were contained in a document called the Great Walk Tree Charter, which was carried to Parliament House, where it was presented to the Premier of WA, Mr. Peter Dowding. As the walkers left Denmark, a red flowering gum was planted in a symbolic gesture of healing and replenishment. Though it would soon become a familiar routine, the first day's walk held a special expectation, not least for the support crew, who'd been working hard pitching marquees, erecting bush showers, digging earth toilets and the fire pit, and preparing a nutritious meal for 200 people.
This is what we're trying to do with the walk, to just make people start asking questions, and then with that questioning is going to come an awareness. With the awareness is going to come people power, so that we're able to have some better say in the management practices that the forestry are using.
You know, I think we've just got to become much more aware of what we've got to begin, and that's partly what this is about. If people don't know what their environment is, how are they going to save it? How are they going to care for it? I don't want to see it all used up. I want to see it used properly for people to work with it.
Open your ears to the sounds of the forest, sound of the wind in the leaves, the rushing of water flowing over the stones, every small creature that breathes. Birds sing as they play in the wind, up in the branches so high. No, if we don't change the way we are living, all of this beauty may die. La 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 la
On the fifth day out of Denmark, we walked through areas of Karri and Marri forest, Clearfeld for wood chipping. It was a profound shock for many of us to see what was once pristine, old-growth forest smashed and burned.
The hills shall be barren, the valleys bare. Nothing will be left, nothing to share. The lakes shall dry up, and the trees they will die. Salt will come creeping, almost knee-high. The sun will burn down, there'll be no shade. Only despair that this man has made. Beware, my people, beware.
just destroyed everything that was there. You know, I mean, there's nothing left. It's heartbreaking. Anybody who can look at that and not be moved. This is what the media should be about. Show the people what we're doing. Is our civilization come to this, that all we can do is destroy? That's all our machinery and big brains, that's all we use it for, destroying things.
How can I just sit here when all around us, justified by scientific man, justified by production levels, justified by glossy management plans, we have a desecration. And it's not just here, it's all over the world. The world is being cut from under our feet.
Walkers expressed their grief and anguish at the carnage by forming a healing circle and by planting new life into the charred earth.
Come on, get on, let's go.
'Cause this is for
the trees, come on, let's do it.
This is for the trees. And it's for you. And for me. Oh, I'm hoping we all can join together. For now, for then, forever. 'Cause this is for the trees. Oh, this is for
It's going to be dicey in the morning, and we've got to be really conscious of that, especially for the kids. Our bell is going to be joined by log trucks rolling through there at 6:30 in the morning. So we're going to have to be extremely careful. If you notice the one that passed today, they'll be going 1,000 miles an hour.
So we've done over 200 kilometres now, and the first 3 days were incredibly hot and sticky, and then we had 3 days where virtually we were saturated. There wasn't a dry item in camp. Nobody had a dry sock. Nobody had a dry boot. We've all got skin off, blisters, aches and pains, but that hasn't stopped anybody. People's spirits just been absolutely fantastic, and the country that we've been walking through has just been so uplifting. It's just been marvellous. It didn't matter how much pain you were in, you just couldn't help feeling inspired.
And since then, from the Shannon on, we've walked through a series of regenerated areas, and people were able to see that the beautiful highway that goes down there is just a border for absolute devastation on either side of it. You just walk in a kilometre off the highway, and there's no bush that hasn't been absolutely cut down, and you know, over the last 50 years, there's just hardly any that's still native.
Yeah, they should think too about they're thinking about the money they make, chopping down all the trees and selling the wood. They should be thinking about their kids and their grandkids when they grow up.
What was once an unspoiled tract of forest which stretched from northern Perth to the southern coast is now a ragged patchwork broken by farm clearing and heavy industry such as bauxite mining and travesties such as wood chipping. If the present rate of exploitation continues, there will be virtually no unlogged public forest left outside reserves by the turn of the century.
I think if the government can see that there is this many people prepared to go this far for something that they believe so strongly in that they will perhaps take a more enlightened view of environmental issues. And I think that the future directions for the government are something that we have to believe that we can influence. If we don't believe that, we're failing to even set out to start to achieve something.
We were now walking on the Bibbulmun Track, an ancient Aboriginal trail which links the Great Southern region with the hills area east of Perth.
The bamburu, or as we say in English, the message stick, has a very special significance for the messenger. And it is, when we dedicated it at Kiribati, it then took all the hopes and realisations of the people present that they would have a walk that would not be caught up in the elements, so that rain would not flood them out, or that mud would not be there, and that the winds would not be too strong, but the elements would be very controlled and allow the walkers a peaceful walk up to Perth.
Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me, with all of our voices and all of our visions. Together we can make such a sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to bridges between our divisions. I reach out to voices and reach out to visions, with all of our voices and all of our visions. Together we can make such a sweet harmony.
The gas bottles are there, Victor.
Is drivable. This road here is drivable. And so this road here, I joined the walk at the Shannon. I was really apprehensive because we were taking over the role of organising it and mapping out the routes and all that. And I was freaking out when I got there, and I saw all these people, and you just say, look, could you do this for me? Could you do that for me? And it was done. You could get, and the feeling amongst the people, anything could have been done. The energy that's been created amongst the people here has been absolutely fantastic.
The responsibilities of that section coordinator is not just to provide transport for the children and the guardians of the children in our ratio 1 to 4 or whatever for the day, but you'll
The
see
route had to be mapped, checked, marked on the ground, support crews and equipment assembled, transport arranged, childcare, first aid and medical personnel coordinated, and a formidable mobile catering system put together.
No lunch. And get out of camp.
Walking, walking with my friends, walking, walking until the end. I'm walking, walking, feel the breeze. I'm walking, walking for the trees. Get down and walk now. Ooh, ah. Somebody shouts, rubs up, so I grab my plate and I come. The sun is peeking through a silver sky. I'm watching a people on the walking.
Covering a fair bit of territory, averaging about 25 kilometres a day. And the weather's been kind to us, which is good. And we've had some great camps to stop at. You know, a few pools where we can leap in and revive ourselves, and it's great to see so many people joining in, those who are coming in from Easter. It's swelled the numbers at the moment, and we're all marching on. It's the 14th day today, isn't it? 15th day, so we think if we've got this far, maybe the old legs will keep going.
Jump, jump! Hey, my go!
On the 15th day, we camped at Honeymoon Pool near Collie. It was a luxury to enjoy fresh water in abundance. Most of the major river systems in the southwest are now saline and unfit for human consumption. Our flora and fauna are similarly threatened. In Western Australia, over 1,000 plant species are listed as rare or endangered, 850 of them from the southwest. Of the 52 plants classified as extinct, 42 were from the southwest. Today, what remains of our environmental wealth balances on a knife edge. We arrived at Nanga for our first and only rest day after 18 days and 450 kilometres. Perth was not far away now, and our numbers were swelled by city supporters. There was a burst of creative energy and people prepared banners, paintings, stories and songs for the culminating event. It was a magic day, a chance to relax, unwind and rest weary bodies. A Great Walk choir had evolved and began practising regularly. Many songs were written during the walk, expressing the deep peace and joy of the intimate experiences we felt as we lived and travelled through our beautiful forested land.
I think Fremantle's quite good for all that stuff. I understand them.
I didn't really know what it was going to be about. I've been really impressed that it's not a some sort of media stunt, despite the fact that I'm standing in front of you guys, but rather it's a statement by the people who were involved in it to say that they are interested in taking responsibility for the environment that they care for.
I think the lead on from this is for more tree planting, more action on trying to get good forest management plans rather than the current ones, trying to change the philosophy about our forest management. And this is one of the ways to do it. I mean, the philosophy behind something like this is quite different to a lot of our other actions too.
In the Charter there's a lot of suggestions and proposals about better ways of managing the forest. I mean, none of us here are against the fact that we live in timber-framed houses and we need timber to live our way of life. We're not denying that at all, but we're just suggesting that there are better ways of going about doing that.
I was amazed at how so many of us from different walks of life all got to like each other, and to know each other, and to understand each other. When we first started, I come from a pretty conservative lifestyle and background, and I had some fears that I wouldn't fit in. But as it developed, apart from the actual walking, the thing I've enjoyed most has been the fellowship with all of the people and how easy it's been to fit in the way we all help each other.
It's been a exciting and very satisfying experience to see the Karri forests and all our beautiful timber country. Anybody who has missed out on this little exercise has really, I think, been unfortunate. Something I wouldn't have missed for quid.
It is clear that we have been living beyond our means for some time and have accumulated a massive environmental debt. This debt must be met if we are to achieve sustainability for the future and heal the damage to our environment. It is only with knowledge and understanding of the true state of our environment that constructive change will come about. Only with such understanding can our generation begin to feel a sense of stewardship towards the land.
Coming in today into this camp, we had to travel over all these very congested, heavily trafficked streets, and people came along waving to us. One childcare nurse wound down her window and cheered us on, and it was quite obvious that people are already aware of what's going on, and I think there's a great deal of goodwill among people who may feel a bit powerless about saving forests generally, and yet they're in there behind us. And with that sort of groundswell, I think maybe when we present the Charter tomorrow at Parliament House, it should also eventually have some sort of political impact.
Steps along St George's Terrace on the 14th of April 1988. Hundreds of Perth people joined us to deliver the tree charter to Parliament House, and many hundreds more cheered our progress through the city's busy streets.
Australia, I present this tree charter to the government and to the people of Western Australia.
On behalf of the community of Western Australia, I accept this charter, which is not only a very beautiful object, but contains very many issues which can be guiding points for ourselves and for future government.
If you think the problem is not far away from you, we've walked through those hills over there 2 days ago, and they're being eaten alive. Those hills are alive, and they're being eaten alive. The forest is dying in there. The forest is dying everywhere. If we were to make this walk in another 12 months, there's virtually not one single day on our walk where something isn't under threat. I think we could say now that there's no such thing really as greenies and environmentalists. It's a handy term for people to use. I think we can do away with that now, and the only distinction we can make are people who are awake and people who are asleep.
Wanju, probably Wanju, Wajibala Biria, Wajibala Puranga, Wajibala Yoga. Janak Bambu, Birawang, Europe. We now let the rain come to the southwest. There'll be rain right through.
What did it achieve, this great walk? If nothing else, it awakened 1,000 more people to the beauties of our unique forest environment and exposed the dark face of 200 years over-exploitation. It was a walk out of night into a dawning awareness of the frailty of our wondrous land, and it began for many a new commitment to work for a healthy future for the generations to come. After all, we do not inherit the earth from our parents, we borrow it from our children.
Open your ears to the sounds of the forest, the sound of the wind in the leaves, the rushing of water.